we need to talk about Kid Cudi. There's a lot that's been going through headlines recently regarding Cudi, and I'm not all for it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just not all for it. So, in case you guys didn't know, recently Kid Cudi performed his set at Rolling Loud, and he was there because Kanye was supposed to be the headliner, but Kanye pulled out, and Rolling Loud, in place of Kanye, put Cudi as the headliner. And a lot of people have said that Rolling Loud set up Cudi. They knew this was gonna happen, blah blah blah. But I'm not really gonna entertain that because again, that's all speculation. I guess maybe I give him the benefit of the doubt. Rolling Loud assumed that a lot of Kanye fans are also Cudi fans, but also had tended to ignore the toxicity of Kanye fans that people seem to be overlooking. Because look, this is what happened essentially. 30 minutes into his set, people started hurling objects at Cudi and like water bottles, shit like that. And Cudi eventually came on stage and said, if one more person throws something on the stage, I'm fucking out of here. You know, stop playing with me, basically. And someone hit him straight on with a water bottle, or someone threw a water bottle on, and he cut his set early, about after, I think, 5-ish songs. And that was the end of it. And my man got booed off stage as he was exiting. I think it goes without saying that coming into this, Cudi had every single right to be upset. If you're a performer, I don't care who you are. If you're on that stage and you're performing for a crowd, there's no justification from that under any single circumstance. Secondly, we need to talk about Kanye fans. And being a Kanye fan myself, I even as one myself, I don't understand what runs through his fans' heads when they think shit like this is okay. I think I see a lot of people throwing the most toxic fan bases out there. Nicki fans, Young Boy fans, Juice WRLD fans, like whatever the case may be, as far as stan bases that tend to be the most toxic. But recently, over the last year or two, I think Kanye stans have really made a case for themselves in that being, because aside from the Rolling Loud incident, which was clearly not ever supposed to happen, should have never happened, look at just the last 2 years of Kanye's antics and the trouble he stirred and the shit he's put on himself, and how it's almost like a subconscious recruiting effort for everyone to be on his side. Let me give you a hot take here. I'm never gonna say that Kanye doesn't deserve to see his kids, okay? But like shit like what he was pulling with Kim Kardashian after the divorce, and they make it clear I'm not a fan of Kim Kardashian. I really don't care for her or any of the Jenner or Kardashian family whatsoever. But Kim didn't do anything wrong. She ended the relationship as amicably as she could have, and from that point forward, it just ended up being Kanye and his fans just attacking this woman on social media. She didn't do anything insane. Now, obviously, the details of her and Pete Davidson's relationship is not stuff I want to see in my timeline, okay? Everything I find out about her talking about their fucking sex life and relationship and all that, it's stuff that I never want to see, but yet it ends up on my timeline, okay? Let's make that clear. But the fact that Kanye spent so much time harassing the both of them, hiding in a bush, pretending to be a bush in camouflage outside of her house to spy, what the fuck? Do we not see this as alarming? Do we not see this as like him being a creep? I understand that people go through emotional distress and emotional uncertainty after a divorce or after a breakup. And I'm sure it's not easy. And I'm sure it's taken a toll just on Kim and Kanye, both mentally, but oh my goodness, the shit he was doing was unreal. And Kanye fans, back to my point, were endorsing every single bit of it. Yeah, people don't have to like Pete Davidson. I'm not a massive Pete Davidson fan. The reason I've always respected Pete Davidson, even though I've never been a fan of his comedy, is because he talks in such a down-to-earth manner about mental health. That's really it. And as someone who's struggled with mental health his entire life, it's something that, seeing the transparency and seeing the vulnerability of somebody is really inspiring to see. But back to my point, I'm getting a little off topic here. This shit is not cool, and anybody else is doing it, it's fine. But Kanye, and I think there's just this premonition going on that like Kanye's mentally ill too. He's misunderstood. Blah 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 blah. But like, that doesn't mean that you can't hold a man accountable for doing some fucked up shit, especially saying some rude ass shit, some foul ass shit to someone like Pete, who also struggles with mental health. You'd think that if you're gonna make it a point of your music, you want to try and, live that out a bit. You know what I mean? If it's gonna be a focal point of an album like Kids See Ghost or Yay, I think it'd be important. I mean, they literally him and Cudi made an collab album, talking about their mental health and how they've dealt with it and how it's affected both of them, and almost creating a sort of synergy there to make them, to increase that understanding of one another. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this doesn't. And granted, I know Kanye is bipolar, but you can't excuse accountability as a result of that. And look, if you're one of the Kanye's, I swear to God, if the dude who threw that fucking water bottle comes across this video, man, I hope you found out what the back of somebody's hand tasted like after. I hope you got jumped on the way back from the concert. I really do. But going back to Cudi in particular, there's another headline that made around recently, where Kid Cudi supposedly cut Mike Dean from his lineup at the Moonman's Landing Festival, which is going to be held in his hometown of Cleveland, which I actually am intending on going to. It's like 25 minutes from me. Very excited. I know Pusha T, Cardi, Jaden Smith, Don Toliver, 070 Shake are going to be a few of the people in the lineup. I think there's some others I'm missing, I'm sure, but it's going to be very exciting. It's a really exciting time to have something like that here in Cleveland. But like I was saying, Mike Dean apparently got cut from the lineup. I don't know the exact reason, but essentially Mike Dean tweeted out, and I quote, "Looks like I won't be playing Moonman's Landing this year. Someone could cancel me. LOL. Thanks. That's all." Hashtag immature. Obviously referring to Cudi. He has full creative control over the festival, I'd imagine. I'm sitting here, I'm looking, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Why? Mike Dean is the one guy, especially as a producer. If you're a producer and you intend on trying to keep working with artists, you don't want to start a bad producers have a gifted ability to be able to work with one rapper that hates another rapper, work with both of them, because that's just the nature of the business. Producers get an out on that. They don't. It's not like an actual friendship where you have to sit here and you got to take sides. So what could Mike Dean have possibly done to cause this from Cudi? And the answer is probably nothing. Not sure. I think maybe it's something to do with the fact that he's still friends with Kanye and he still works so closely with Kanye, as well as Cudi from the past. But then there's also one part where Mike Dean mentions in a tweet, wasn't Cudi just crying because Cudi did this to him over Pete? How hypocritical. Honestly, before I even got to that part of the thread, or part of his Instagram, or excuse me, Twitter, where I saw it, that's exactly what I was thinking. Cudi, so for example, Cudi just cleared his verse on a song with Kanye on Pusha T's new album earlier this year because he's still friends with Pusha, and you know how Pusha feels about Kanye. And Cudi's still cool with him. It will clear a verse for him. But Mike Dean still being in ties with Kanye is enough to. Now, I don't know if there's something going on behind the scene that I'm just unaware of, or that Mike Dean just is omitting to mention, but if that is it, what the fuck? That is hypocritical. And like I said, I'll hold anybody accountable for anything. Cudi should not have done that. Mike Dean does not deserve that, as someone who has worked with Cudi for just as long in his career, almost as long in his career, I should say, as Kanye, has been there and helped mix, engineer, and produce so many of his albums, including Kids See Ghost. And Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying as well. It's just a little baffling. And I guess I'm going to end all this by saying, please look after your mental health. This shit should never be happening. Both are not in the right. I'd say Kanye is significantly more to wrong than Kanye fans. I think silence is the biggest thing. Just promoting this behavior is not a good thing. Anyway, guys, look after your people. Check on your mental. Sending thoughts and prayers to both Cudi and Kanye, because Lord knows they both need it right now. Lord knows they